You know that feeling? The one where your throat closes up so tight you can't breathe? Where the shame is so hot it feels like it's boiling your skin from the inside out? That's where Sorina is, right now. She's running. Not a jog, not a graceful escape. She is fleeing, crashing through the forest like a spooked deer. The delicate, stupid festival dress she wore, the one her Aunt Eve insisted would help her fit in, is tearing on brambles. Twigs are ripping at her hair, snagging the careful braids, pulling them loose. She doesn't care. She can't feel the sting of the thorns, the cold night air hitting her sweat-slick skin. All she can feel is the burn, the humiliation. It's a physical weight pressing down on her chest, stealing her air. Behind her, fading with every desperate step, is the Harvest Moon Festival, the heart of the Obsidian Moon Pack. It's supposed to be a night of celebration, of destiny, the one night a year where the goddess herself is said to bless new unions. For everyone else, it's a night of electric possibility, of finding your other half. The air back there is thick with it. The scent of pine, roasting meats, and the sharp coppery tang of wolfish excitement. The shimmer of silver and gray and black fur, beautiful and powerful, moving with a grace she can only dream of. For Sorina Valerius, it's a humiliation, a reminder of everything she is not. The whispers had started the moment she arrived. They always do. But tonight was worse. Louder. Look at her, the little half-blood. What's she even doing here? She can't mate. She can't even shift. Pathetic. I heard her father was human. Worse, I heard her mother died of shame. That one hit her like a physical blow. It echoed the words her own grandfather had spit at her just this morning. Disgrace. Embarrassment. She'd stood there, gripping a cup of punch she didn't want, her knuckles white, a plastic smile plastered on her face while her insides just dissolved. She is 20 years old, and she is a broken thing. The only wolf in the entire Obsidian Moon Pack who doesn't have a wolf. She'd caught the eye of a pack warrior, his own beautiful silver tendril, the mark of his inner wolf, gleaming on his temple under the moonlight. He'd looked at her, his gaze lingering, and for one stupid, fluttering second, her heart had hoped. Then his friend elbowed him, whispered something, and they both laughed. The warrior's gaze turned from interest to pity, to disgust. That's when she broke. She'd thrown the cup into the bushes, and she'd run. Pushing past mated couples dancing, past elders watching with stern, judging eyes. She'd burst through the tree line, and she hadn't looked back. Now the music is gone. The laughter is gone. There is only the sound of her own gasping breaths and the frantic, clumsy thud of her human feet on the forest floor. She finally stumbles to a stop, leaning against a massive, ancient oak, her chest heaving. The air is cold here, sharp in her lungs. And it's dark. Not festival dark, lit by fairy lights and bonfires. This is forest dark. Deep. Ancient. The canopy above blots out the moon, leaving her in an inky, terrifying blackness. And she's alone. Stupid, stupid, stupid. The word pounds in her head with every beat of her heart. She didn't just leave the party. She ran out of the pack's safe territory. She knows these woods. The scent markers that line the border are a mile back. She's in the unclaimed lands. Rival territory. Rogue territory. A fresh wave of self-hatred, colder and sharper than the night air, washes over her. I hate everything about me, she whispers, the words a ragged puff of white in the dark. All I ever wanted was to be normal. A tear, hot and angry, finally escapes, tracing a path through the grime on her cheek. But it'll never happen. A real wolf would be fine. A real wolf would smell the boundaries, would hear the forest, would be able to defend herself. A real wolf belongs here, Sorina is just a girl in a ruined dress, with human senses that are deaf and blind to the real dangers of the night. She's prey, and she just served herself up on a platter. Maybe she should just keep running. Leave the pack. Leave the shame, the whispers, the disappointment in her grandfather's eyes. Just disappear. The thought is terrifying, but it's also freeing. A twig snaps. Sorina freezes. Her heart doesn't just pound, it stops. Every nerve ending screams. The forest, which was filled with the gentle rustle of leaves and distant insects, goes utterly, terrifyingly silent. Even the wind seems to be holding its breath. It wasn't her. It wasn't a small animal. The sound was heavy, deliberate. She holds her breath, straining her ears. She can hear nothing but the blood rushing past her eardrums. Please, please, please. And then she smells it. It's not the clean scent of pine. It's not the damp earth. It's a rank, gagging stench. Wet fur, old blood, rot. A dangerous, predatory smell that her human nose can still register. It's the smell of a rogue, a wolf without a pack, a wolf that is hungry and desperate and has nothing to lose.
A low growl rumbles through the dark, seeming to come from everywhere at once. It vibrates in her bones. She doesn't think. She just moves. She shoves off the tree and plunges deeper into the woods, all thoughts of self-pity gone, replaced by pure, liquid terror. This is no longer a clumsy run. It's a blind panic. Thorns she didn't feel before now tear at her arms like razors. A low-hanging branch whips her across the face and she cries out, tasting blood. She can hear it now, the heavy, padding footfalls behind her. It's not running, it's loping, toying with her. It knows she's no threat. It knows she's trapped. "Help!" she screams, but the sound is swallowed by the trees. "Somebody, please!" She stumbles over a root, her ankle twisting with a sickening, fiery pop. The pain is immediate, blinding. She goes down hard, her palms scraping against rock and dirt. She tries to get up, to put weight on her foot, and a shriek of agony is ripped from her throat. It's broken or badly sprained. It doesn't matter. She can't run. She scrambles backward, crab-walking, pushing herself with her one good foot, dirt and leaves packing under her broken nails. It's useless. She's sobbing now, hot, terrified tears. This is it. This is how she dies. Not as a warrior, not as a pack member, but as a wolfless, pathetic child who ran away from a party. The growling stops. She looks up, her breath hitched in her throat. Two yellow eyes, glowing with a sickly, hungry light, emerge from the shadows not 20 feet away. The rogue wolf steps into a sliver of moonlight. It's huge, bigger than any pack wolf she's ever seen. Its fur is matted with filth and burrs. Saliva drips from its scarred muzzle, its black lips pulled back to reveal yellowed, broken fangs. It lowers its head, its growl a steady, terrifying rumble in its chest. It's savoring this, the smell of her fear. Sorina flattens herself against the ground, holding up a trembling hand. "No, please." The rogue bunches its powerful haunches. It's going to leap. This is the last second of her life. Boom! The sound isn't a sound, it's a pressure, a sonic wave of pure, unadulterated power that slams into the clearing, an explosion of motion. A blur of solid black, impossibly fast, collides with the rogue. It's not a fight, it's an execution. There is a sound of a horrible, wet crunch, a choked-off yelp, and the rogue is thrown sideways, its body hitting a tree with a sickening thud before it collapses, unmoving. Silence. Sorina is trembling so hard she can't see straight. Her heart is a hummingbird in her ribs. The rogue is dead. But the danger is not gone. A new scent hits her, obliterating the stench of the rogue. It's sharp, electric, like ozone before a lightning strike, deep pine, and underneath it all, a controlled, burning rage. Standing over the rogue's body is a wolf. But it is not a wolf. It is the wolf. A massive black creature, its fur so dark it seems to drink the moonlight. It's larger than the rogue, but where the rogue was chaotic and filthy, this creature is pure, lethal perfection. Power rolls off it in visible waves. It turns its head, and its gaze lands on her. Sorina stops breathing. The wolf's eyes aren't yellow. They are red, not animal red. They are burning like twin, molten hot coals, the red of an alpha at the height of his power. He stalks toward her, one slow, deliberate step at a time. He isn't growling. He doesn't have to. The air crackles around him. And then, in a movement so fast she almost missed it, the wolf changes. It's not a graceful, cinematic shift. It's a violent, brutal compression of bone and muscle, a sound of cracking, of reforming, and where the wolf stood, a man now stands. Alpha Caius. He's the alpha of the Obsidian Moon Pack, her alpha, and he is terrifying. He's tall, built like a fortress, and he's not looking at her like a pack member. He's looking at her like she's the next thing he plans to destroy. He's breathing hard, his chest rising and falling, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. He takes one more step, and the air changes. The rage is still there, but something else slams into him, into her. He stops. His head cocks just a slightly. He sniffs the air. His eyes, still rimmed with that burning red, widen. It's not a look of recognition. It's a look of pure, utter shock. Sorina feels it too. The terror that was making her shake suddenly pauses, replaced by a bizarre, impossible pull, a warmth that starts deep in her belly and spreads out, making her broken ankle throb with a dull, distant ache instead of a sharp scream. It's a feeling of
rightness.
Safety.
It makes no sense. This is the man who never looks at her, the alpha whose disappointment is a tangible force in the pack. Caius's gaze locks on hers. His nostrils flare. He's smelling her. Her blood, her terror, and something else. Something underneath. His scent hits her again, and this time the rage is gone, replaced by something that smells like burnt sugar and longing. It's the most intoxicating thing she has ever experienced. His eyes, that burning red. He's seeing her, really seeing her. This scent, he growls, the word a low rumble. This woman. He looks like he's been struck by lightning. His entire body is rigid, fighting a war she can't see. He's fighting the pull. It's like every molecule in my body is on fire. And Sorina knows. In that one horrifying, impossible instant, she knows what this is. The stories are real. The Harvest Moon Festival. The fated mates. The goddess has just bound her, the wolfless disgrace. To him, the alpha. She sees the exact moment he realizes it too, and she sees the exact moment he realizes what she is, a half-blood, wolfless. The red in his eyes vanishes, snuffed out like a candle, replaced by an ice so cold it burns more than the fire. The shock on his face twists, curdling into something else, something that rips her new, fragile hope to shreds, disbelief. And then, pure, unadulterated disgust. He physically recoils. He flinches back one step, as if she is the rogue, as if she is the rot. He looks from her to the dead wolf, and back to her. And his face is a mask of cold fury, a fury aimed entirely at her. He doesn't offer her a hand. He doesn't ask if she's hurt. He just stares at her, this broken, pathetic thing he's just been cursed to, and his voice is flat, dead, and full of ice. This was a mistake. He turns his back on her, on his mate. He doesn't look back. He just shifts, a seamless, silent explosion of black fur, and vanishes into the trees. He left her. He left her on the cold, hard ground, next to the corpse of the wolf that tried to kill her. Her ankle is screaming, her body is shaking, but the cold she feels now has nothing to do with the night air. It's a bone-deep, soul-deep freeze. He left her, alone, with the blood and the silence, and a new, colder shame that makes the festival whispers feel like a love song. What do you do? What do you do when your destiny, the one thing, the only thing that was ever supposed to save you, turns out to be the one person in the world who hates you the most? Subscribe to Wolfveil Tales, because destiny doesn't always knock. Sometimes it hits, and it hits hard, just when you least expect it.
For a long time, she doesn't move. She just lies there. The forest, which had been a place of terror, is now just cold, empty. The silence he left behind is louder than the rogue's growl, louder than her own scream. He left her. The fact hits her again and again, each time a fresh physical blow. He left her. Her fated mate, the other half of her soul, decreed by the goddess herself. He'd looked at her in her most broken, terrified moment, and his response was disgust. He'd saved her life only to annihilate her soul. The cold is seeping in now. Real cold. It's biting at her exposed skin, making her tremble. The pain in her ankle is no longer a dull throb. It's a sharp, jagged scream every time her heart beats. She tries to move, to sit up, and the world whites out for a second. The smell of the dead rogue, its blood cooling on the ground, fills her nose, and she gags, bile rising in her throat. She has to move. He's not coming back. No one is coming. She's a disgrace who ran from the festival. They're probably glad she's gone. With a sob of effort, she plants her hands in the dirt and pushes herself backward, dragging her useless leg. The pain is blinding. Gods, it hurts, she whimpers, fresh tears of frustration and agony cutting through the grime. She makes it 2 feet. 3. Every inch is a mountain, every movement a fresh wave of nausea. She stops, chest heaving, leaning against a tree trunk, her head falling back against the rough bark. It's hopeless. She's miles from the border. She'll die here. Of the cold or the pain. A howl rips through the night. Sorina's blood turns to ice. This isn't a pack howl. It's not a call. It's a scream of pure, animalistic grief. A sound of loss so profound, so full of rage, it shakes the very trees. Oh no. No, no, no. The rogue. It wasn't alone. That was its mate. And it's close. It smelled the blood. She scrambles, all thoughts of her ankle gone, pure adrenaline surging. She drags herself, not caring about the rocks cutting her, the roots tearing at her dress. The howling comes again, closer this time, ending in a series of sharp, angry barks. It's hunting. It's found the body. Sorina shoves herself into a dense thicket of ferns, her heart trying to escape her chest. She holds her breath, praying, "Please don't find me. Please don't find me." She hears it, the heavy, padding footfalls, snuffling, a low, wretched whine, and then sniffing, frantic, angry sniffing. It's smelling the kill. It's smelling the blood. And it's smelling her. She can smell Caius all over herself, that electric ozone and pine scent. She is covered in the scent of the wolf that killed its mate. The sniffing stops. A new growl begins, low and menacing, vibrating with a promise of death. It's coming right for her. The ferns rustle. She can see the shadow, a massive, dark shape against the paler darkness of the woods. This is it. This is really it. A black thing detonates from the trees above. It's Caius. He didn't land as a wolf. He lands as a man, feet hitting the earth with a ground-shaking thud between her and the new rogue. He hadn't come back. He'd never even left. He'd been watching. The second rogue, a massive gray female, skids to a halt, snarling, shocked by his sudden appearance. Caius doesn't even look at it. He doesn't have to. He stands there, his back to Sorina, and he just radiates. It's not rage, not this time. It's a cold, absolute, terrifying authority. It's the pressure of an alpha's will, so heavy it feels like the air is turning to lead. He just lifts his hand, a simple, almost casual gesture, and he speaks one word. Go. It's not a request. It's not a command. It's a rewriting of reality. The sound of it bypasses her ears and punches her straight in the chest. The rogue whimpers. The sound is agonizing. It's torn. The drive for vengeance, for her dead mate, is warring with the absolute crushing command of a true alpha. It lowers its belly to the ground. It snarls, turning to terrified, choked-off whines. It's submitting. It's breaking. With one last, heartbreaking look at the body of its mate, the gray rogue turns and flees, its tail tucked, vanishing into the night.
The silence that returns is absolute. For a long, long moment, Caius doesn't move. He just stands there, his back to her, his shoulders rigid. The power is still rolling off him, making her skin tingle. Then, slowly, he turns. His face is granite, carved, utterly, terrifyingly void of emotion. That coldness, that ice, is back. He looks at her, huddled in the dirt, torn and bleeding, and there is nothing in his eyes. No relief, no anger. Just a heavy, weary emptiness, like he's looking at a chore he's been forced to complete. He stalks toward her. Sorina flinches, pressing herself back against the ground. I'm sorry, she whispers, the words pathetic. I didn't mean. He doesn't reply. He reaches down, not with a gentle hand, but with a grip. He grabs her by her upper arm, his fingers digging in like talons, and hauls her to her feet. A scream is ripped from her throat as her full weight, plus his pull, lands on her broken ankle. The world flashes white, and she collapses, all strength gone. He catches her before she hits the ground. But it's not a catch. It's an interception. His arm snakes around her waist, but the touch is an insult. He holds her away from his body, his grip purely functional, as if he's holding a sack of wet cement. He rearranges her, sweeping her legs out from under her, and lifts her into his arms. Sorina gasps. She's pressed against his chest. She can feel the hard, unyielding muscle through his shirt, the heat radiating from his skin. That scent, ozone and pine and mate. It floods her senses, and despite the pain, despite the humiliation, her broken, stupid body instinctively tries to curl into him. The second she moves, his arms tighten, his grip turning bruising. A low, almost inaudible growl rumbles in his chest, a warning. Don't. He begins to walk, not gently. He strides through the forest, a predator moving through his domain, and she is just cargo. She's jostled with every powerful step, her ankle sending fresh jolts of agony up her leg, but she doesn't make a sound. She bites her lip until it bleeds, tasting the copper,
focusing on that pain instead of the crushing, agonizing rejection of the man holding her. He hates touching her. She can feel it. He holds her like she is diseased. The walk back to the Packlands is endless, a silent, brutal journey. He doesn't speak. He doesn't look at her. His jaw is set, his gaze fixed forward. He is a storm, locked in human form. They burst through the tree line, and the sounds of the festival, now muted, winding down, hit them. A few pack warriors, part of a search party, see them. Their eyes widen. They see their alpha. They see the broken, filth-covered half-blood in his arms. They see his face, and they immediately look away, dropping their heads in submission. But Sorina can feel their thoughts. The whispers are already starting. He doesn't take her to the healers. He doesn't take her to the pack house. He carries her straight to her grandfather's cottage, on the very edge of the pack village. He kicks the door open. Her cousin, Silas, is there, pacing the small living room. "Sorina! Oh, goddess, we've been—" He stops dead when he sees Alpha Caius. He sees her state. He sees the Alpha's face. Caius doesn't say a word. He walks past Silas and unceremoniously dumps Sorina onto the threadbare sofa. The landing sends a jolt through her ankle, and she can't stifle the cry this time. "Get her seen to," Caius orders. His voice is raw. He doesn't look at Silas. He looks at a spot on the wall just past Serena's head. "Alpha." "What?" Silas starts. "Just do it." Caius turns and storms out. The door slams shut, shaking the small cottage. Sorina is left on the couch, shaking, covered in mud, blood, and shame. "Sorina. My God, Sorina, what happened?" He's at her side in an instant, his eyes, so different from the Alpha's, filled with genuine terror and concern. He gently, so gently, pushes her matted hair back from her face. He left me," she chokes out, the dam of her control finally breaking. The sobs are violent, shaking her whole frame. He hates me, Silas." Silas freezes. His hand stops. He's looking at her, really looking at her, and a strange, dawning horror is creeping into his expression. He's a lore-keeper. He knows the old ways. "Sorina," he says, his voice quiet, intense. "What happened? What exactly happened when he first found you? He saved me. He killed the rogue. And then he looked at me." She can't explain the pull, the feeling of rightness that had been so cruelly snatched away. "His eyes," Silas whispers, his face pale. "Were they red?" Sorina just nods, unable to speak. "And his scent, did it call to you?" She nods again, a new sob breaking free.
Silas sits back, his breath hissing out. "Oh, goddess, no." He scrubs his hands over his face. "Of course, the harvest moon, the sacred night. Sorina." "What?" she cries. "What's wrong?" "He didn't just save you." Silas's voice is grave. "Sorina, even the Alpha can't deny the command of the goddess." He leans in, his eyes locking with hers. "You two imprinted. He's your mate. And you're going to be his." The words don't make sense. "No, that's impossible. He hates me. You saw him. He looked at me like I was nothing." "He's the Alpha," Silas says, as if that explains everything. "And you're wolfless, Sorina. Do you have any idea what this means?" She doesn't get to answer. The cottage door opens again, this time without a knock. It's her grandfather. And behind him, 2 of the pack elders. And behind them, his face a mask of thunder, is Alpha Caius. The room is suddenly too small, too hot. The air is thick with old paper, the sharp scent of the elders, and the suffocating, electric rage of Caius. He's standing in the corner, his arms crossed, his gaze fixed on the fireplace, refusing to look at her. "Sorina Valerius," the eldest, Frederick, says. His voice is not kind, it's not congratulatory. It's heavy, like a judge passing sentence. "The Alpha has
informed us of what occurred in the woods. Her grandfather is vibrating with a rage and shame so profound he seems to be turning purple. You, child, what have you done? I didn't do anything, she pleads, pushing herself up on the couch, wincing. Silence, her grandfather barks. Enough, Orion. Elder Frederick snaps. He turns his cold, ancient eyes on Sorina. It matters not. The bond is forged. The goddess has cast her choice. He looks from her to Caius's rigid back and sighs. A heavy, burdened sound. After years of us searching, the Harvest Moon Gathering was a success. He says the word success like it's a curse. A success? Sorina's voice cracks. This isn't a success. I'm forced to be with someone who won't even look at me. He despises me. Caius's head snaps up. His eyes, no longer red, are chips of pure black ice. He looks at her, and the coldness of his gaze physically hurts. She is correct, he says, his voice a low growl. I will not accept this. You have no choice, Alpha, nor does she. The fate has been written, the bond is sealed, it must be solidified. Sorina looks between them, her confusion mixing with a new rising dread. What does that mean? Caius actually scoffs, a short, bitter, ugly sound. She doesn't even know our laws. A fitting, Luna. What does it mean? Sorina screams. The injustice, the pain, the humiliation, all boiling over. Elder Frederick fixes her with a hard stare. It means the claiming ceremony. Now that he is imprinted, the Alpha is required to claim you, to mark you, in front of the entire pack. Mark me? He's going to bite you, Silas whispers, his face ashen. No, Sorina breathes. No, I won't. You can't make me. It is not a choice, the elder says, his voice final. It is our law. It is the goddess's will. Until you are marked, the bond is unstable, a weakness, a target for our enemies. He raises his voice, his gaze sweeping the room, landing on Caius. It will be done on the new moon, in 2 nights. He then turns his gaze back to Sorina, and his next words are the final slam of the prison door. In the meantime, you will gather your belongings. My belongings? Why? It means, the claiming ceremony, now that he is imprinted, the Alpha is required to claim you, to mark you. From here on out, the elder states as if it's the most obvious thing in the world, you are to reside with the Alpha, with him. Sorina's head whips to Caius. His face is a mask of such pure, cold, trapped fury, it's the most terrifying thing she has ever seen. He is your mate, and she is his prisoner. It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks since the nightmare in the woods. 3 weeks since the elder's decree. 3 weeks since she was forced to pack a single bag and move into the cold, silent, sprawling stone fortress that the Alpha, Caius, called a home. 3 weeks since the claiming ceremony. Sorina doesn't have to touch the mark on her neck to feel it. It's always there. A patch of skin just over her pulse that feels permanently chilled, permanently aware. It's a constant, invisible tether connecting her to the man sitting in the driver's seat less than 2 feet away. For 5 hours they have been driving. For 5 hours he has not said a single word. She's trapped, a prisoner in her own life, and now a prisoner in this luxury coffin on wheels. He's taking her to the Sunfire Pack, an official visit, an obligation. And the elders had insisted, the new Luna must accompany the Alpha, the packs must see a united front. A united front. Sorina almost laughs, but she knows the sound would earn her that look of pure, cold ice. A united front. They are a fractured, gaping wound. She watches him out of the corner of her eye. His profile is cut from granite. His hands grip the steering wheel, his knuckles white. He's been like this for 3 weeks, a storm cloud condensed into the shape of a man. He breathes, he eats, he gives orders, but he does not live. And he does not, under any circumstances, look at her. They sleep in the same house. The mark on her neck pulls her toward him, a sick, magnetic ache. It wants her to be near him, and she can feel him fighting the same pull every single second of every single day. He sleeps in a room at the opposite end of the vast, empty house. He's built a fortress of silence and distance, and she is left to roam the cold halls, a ghost in her own new life. He'd told her as much the night of the ceremony, after he'd marked her in front of the entire pack, his teeth sinking into her neck, a pain so sharp and electric it had stolen her breath. He'd found her in the sterile, unfamiliar room that was now hers. He hadn't touched her. He'd stood in the doorway, his face a mask of cold control. "You may be my mate," he'd said, his voice flat, dead, but in name only. "You are an assignment, decreed by the goddess, enforced by the elders. You will perform the duties of the Luna. You will be seen. You will not speak out of turn. But you will never be my wife. We will never be intimate. Is that understood?" And Sorina, still shaking from the trauma of the ceremony, the pain in her neck, the humiliation of the pack's angry whispers, she had found a spark, a single, tiny, defiant ember in the ruins. She'd looked him right in the eye. "If you're nothing to me, then you're nothing to me. Get out of my room, you feral dog." The rage that had flashed in his eyes, it had almost been a relief, better than the ice. But he'd just turned and left. And the ice had been back ever since. The car slows. Sorina straightens, her stomach clenching. They're here. The Sunfire Pack is different. Where the Obsidian Moon territory is deep woods, ancient shadows, and stone, this place is open, rolling hills, bathed in the glow of the late afternoon sun. The air feels lighter, warmer. They pull up to a large, sprawling house that looks less like a fortress and more like a home. Before Caius even has the engine off, the front door bursts open. A man, broad-shouldered and with a shock of sandy blonde hair, comes bounding down the steps, a huge, infectious grin on his face. "He lives!" the man booms, yanking Caius's door open. "Cousin, you absolute bastard! It's been too long!" Caius gets out of the car, and for a second, his granite mask cracks. A flicker of something. Affection? He actually clasps the arm of the man. "Kalen, you're too loud. And you're too grim. Gods, look at you." Kalen slaps his shoulder, then his gaze slides to the passenger side. His grin softens, turning warm and respectful. He moves to her door, opening it with a slight bow. "And you must be Sorina, our new Luna. It is a true honor. I'm Kalen." Sorina steps out, her legs stiff. "Thank you for having us." "Having you? We've been waiting. Leona, get out here." A woman emerges from the doorway, and she's like the sunlight. Kalen is like the earth. She's graceful, with kind, intelligent eyes that see everything. She glides down the steps, and her gaze immediately finds Sorina's. Not with pity, with understanding. "Welcome, Luna Sorina," she says, her voice like warm honey. "I'm Leona. We are so happy you're here. She gives Kaelin a soft look, and he immediately loops an arm around her waist, pulling her in, kissing her temple. The gesture is so easy, so natural, so full of lazy, confident love. It's like a physical blow to Sorina. She looks away, her throat tightening. She can feel Caius beside her, his body going rigid, his coldness returning, intensified by the warmth in front of him.
Right, Kaelin says, either missing the tension or pointedly ignoring it. Drinks, now. Leona, love, will you show Sorina to their room? I need to talk strategy with this one. Of course. Leona's kind eyes find Sorina's again. Come, let's get you settled. It was a long drive. Sorina nods, grateful for the escape. She follows Leona into the beautiful, sun-drenched house. It's filled with comfortable furniture, the scent of baking bread, and laughter. She can hear pups playing in another room. It's a home. Leona leads her up the stairs. Kaelin can be a lot, she says, her voice gentle. He's just so happy to see Caius. He worries. He seems nice, Sorina murmurs, clutching the strap of her overnight bag. He is. Leona stops in front of a chair, pushing it open. The room is beautiful. Bright, airy, with a large, soft-looking bed and a balcony overlooking the hills. Here you are. I hope this is comfortable. Sorina steps inside. It's lovely. Thank you. Leona lingers in the doorway. Luna Serene, may I call you Sorina? Please. Leona steps in, letting the door click softly shut behind her. You look exhausted. And it's not from the drive. Sorina's head snaps up. Leona's gaze is kind, but it's sharp. It's the gaze of a true Luna. Perceptive. I'm fine, Sorina lies, the word paper-thin. No, you're not. And it's okay. I know my cousin-in-law. He is difficult. He sighs, walking to the window. He's not just difficult. He's broken, Sorina. And he's been broken for a very long time. Sorina doesn't know what to say. She just stands there, her bag still hanging from her shoulder. He wasn't always like this, Leona continues, her voice dropping, taking on that haunted, layered tone. When we were young, he was a lot like Kaelin. Loud, reckless, so much light in him. He loved with his whole heart, especially his father. She turns to face Sorina, her expression heavy. You know how his father, Alpha Tiberius, died, don't you? I know, Sorina whispers. No one talks about it. It's just the tragedy. Leona nods. They're afraid to. But you have a right to know. You need to know if you're going to survive him. Leona sits on the edge of a chair, her hands clasped. It was 15 years ago. Caius was just a teenager. His father, Tiberius, was a strong alpha, a good alpha. But he was trusting. He believed in giving chances. She pauses, and the air in the sunny room suddenly feels cold. There was a woman, a human, or so we thought. Her name was Marana. She came to the Packlands claiming to be lost, running from an abusive partner. She was wolfless, powerless. Tiberius took pity on her. He gave her sanctuary. He gave her a job in the pack house. He trusted her. Leona's voice drops to a whisper. She was a spy. A plant, from a rival pack. The Shadowcrest Rogues. They'd been wanting our territory for decades. Marana spent 6 months learning every patrol, every weakness, everything. She learned Tiberius's schedule, his habits. She learned that he trusted her so much he'd meet with her alone. Sorina feels a cold dread seeping into her skin. One night, Leona says, her eyes distant, she sent him a note. An emergency. She was in the old hunting cabin at the northern border, alone. She said she was scared. He went. Of course he went. He didn't even take his guards. When he got there, she wasn't alone. The Shadowcrest Alpha was there, and 5 of his strongest warriors. It was an ambush.
a slaughter. But the worst part, the part that broke Caius, was that he'd followed his father. He had a bad feeling. He was just a kid, but his alpha instincts were already strong. He got there just in time to see it. He hid in the trees. He watched. He watched Marana, the wolfless, helpless woman his father had saved, hold his father down, while the Shadow Crest Alpha, Leona closes her eyes. He watched her laugh, and then he watched them kill his father. Sorina sags, her legs giving out. She sits heavily on the edge of the bed. Oh my gods. Caius, Leona continues, her voice thick with pain. He was never the same. He had to run. He had to get back, warn the pack. He led the counterattack himself. He was brutal, terrifying. He saved us. He secured his father's territory. But the boy with all that light, he died in those woods. He shut the world out. He swore on his father's grave that he would never be weak, never trust, and most of all, he would never be betrayed by a wolfless woman. He's seen them as poison since then, as a liability, a weakness waiting to strike. And then the goddess, in her infinite cruel wisdom, gave him you. It clicks. It's not just a click. It's the sound of 1,000 broken, confusing pieces slamming into place. The disgust in the woods, the recoil, the ice, the hatred, the assignment. No wonder, Sorina breathes, the words stolen from her lungs. No wonder he hates me. She looks up at Leona, her own eyes flooding with a new, sharper pain, a pain of understanding. He doesn't just see me, Sorina, the half-blood. He looks at me, and he sees her. He sees Marana. Yes, Leona whispers. I'm not his mate, Sorina says, the realization a cold, hard stone in her gut. I'm his ghost. I'm his greatest nightmare, wearing his mark. That night, the dinner is a blur. Kaelin and Caius talk pack business, their voices a low rumble. Sorina just pushes food around her plate, her mind reeling. She sees Caius in a new, terrible light. Every cold glance, every harsh word, it's not just him being cruel, it's a shield. It's scar tissue, thick and ugly over a wound that never healed. Later, Kaelin and Leona are curled up on a sofa, and someone puts on music, a slow, haunting melody. Caius is standing by the open balcony doors, staring out into the night, a glass of something dark in his hand, a fortress of one. And Sorina, armed with this new, terrible understanding, does something she'd sworn she'd never do. She approaches him. He tenses as she gets close. She can feel the "get away" rolling off him. You shouldn't be here, he growls, not looking at her. I know you hate me, she whispers, stopping a few feet away. That gets him to look, a cold, dismissive glance. I don't hate you. I feel nothing for you at all. The lie is so obvious now. He feels everything. He's drowning in it. That's not true, she says, her voice shaking, but she doesn't back down. You feel a lot. She takes a breath, her vulnerability rising. I wanted to tell you. I know what it's like to lose someone, to be defined by it. You know nothing, he snarls. I know I never met my mom. The words burst out, louder than she intended. The music seems to swell around them. And I don't even know what she looked like. Growing up, all the other girls had moms. To braid their hair, to talk to. He's staring at her, his fury momentarily frozen, replaced by a cold, sharp focus. When I was 10,
she whispers, the memory of fresh pain. I asked my Aunt Eve about her. I just wanted to know something. Anything. But she just cried. She handed me this old, crumpled envelope and made me swear never to tell my grandfather. It was a photo. Just one. Of my mom. At her human prom. She was magnificent. She was dancing with this boy. My father, I guess. Her eyes, she was smiling. A tear she didn't know was coming slides down her cheek. I always imagined her dancing to a song like this one. I know it's stupid, but it's all I have. I know what it's like to be the broken one, the wolfless one, the one who's wrong. He's not looking at her like she's Marana anymore. He's not looking at her like she's an assignment. He's looking at her like he's...
The night is starless. The new moon offers no light, just a gaping black hole in the sky. It is fitting. This is not a celebration. This is a sentence. 2 nights, 48 hours. Sorina has spent every second of it in a state of cold, suspended terror. She has been moved. She is no longer in her grandfather's cottage. She is in his house, the Alpha's fortress, a place of cold stone, high ceilings, and an oppressive, suffocating silence. She's in a room that feels less like a guest room and more like a beautifully appointed cell. He has not spoken to her. He has not even looked at her since he was forced to stand in that cottage and listen to the elder's decree. His beta, a grim-faced, silent warrior named Jorvik, brought her clothes. They were not the soft, white silks of a Luna in waiting. There was no lace, no embroidery. It was a simple, sleeveless tunic, the color of ash. And now, she is being marched. Her grandfather's hand is a vice on her upper arm. His grip is not supportive. It is propelling. He is forcing her forward, through the dark, cold woods. This is not the festive clearing of the harvest moon. This is the sacred circle, an ancient, somber place, ringed by massive, moss-covered standing stones that predate the pack's memory. The air is cold. No one is laughing. No one is speaking. The entire Obsidian Moon Pack is here, hundreds of them, and they are silent. But she can feel their hatred. It's a physical pressure, a suffocating blanket of resentment that chokes the air. She can smell it. Underneath the sharp scent of pine and the ritual incense burning in stone bowls, she can smell the sour, acrid tang of their fury. She stumbles, her thin shoe catching on a root. Her grandfather yanks her upright, his fingers digging in, bruising her. "Hold your head up, child," he hisses, his voice shaking, not with fear, but with his own shame. "You will not disgrace us further." This is it. The end of her life. It's not a new beginning. It's a public execution. She is a wolfless half-blood nothing. And she is walking toward the man she has trapped, the man who is about to trap her in return. They step into the circle, and she sees him. He is already there, standing on a raised, flat slab of granite in the center of the ring. He is not in ceremonial robes. He is dressed in simple black trousers and a dark, loose-fitting shirt. He looks less like an alpha accepting his mate and more like an executioner waiting for the condemned. His body is perfectly, terrifyingly still. His face is a void, carved from the same ice that fills his eyes. His gaze finds hers as her grandfather shoves her toward the stone platform. The coldness from that night in the woods, it is 1,000 times worse. It is not the heat of anger. It is the absolute zero of nothing, of pure, unadulterated loathing. This is not her mate. This is her jailer. She stops at the base of the platform, her legs trembling so hard she's afraid they'll give out. Elder Frederick steps forward, his voice booming, hollow and cold in the night air. We gather under the eye of the new moon. The goddess has spoken. A mate has been found. A Luna has been chosen. A low, angry murmur ripples through the crowd. It's a dangerous sound, a growl vibrating from hundreds of chests. And then, a single voice, sharp with venom, cuts through the night. She is not our Luna. It's a woman. She sees her. One of the pack warriors who had sneered at her at the festival. Her face is twisted in outrage. She's a half-blood, a disgrace. Wolfless, another voice shouts. She'll make us weak. She is nothing. The words hit her. Each one is a physical blow, a stone thrown from the darkness. She flinches, her body curling in on itself, a pathetic, instinctive gesture of defense. She wants to run. She wants to disappear. The shouting grows. It's a low roar now. The pack is feeding on its own anger. Caius doesn't move. He just watches. He stands on his stone, his face an impassive mask, and he lets them. He lets them shout. He lets them hurl their hatred at her. He lets them see her, trembling, exposed, and utterly alone. He lets him see him, trapped by this. The roar reaches a fever pitch. A man in the front row actually spits on the ground at her feet. And then, Caius raises one hand. The sound cuts off. It doesn't fade. It stops. As if a blade has severed every throat. The entire Obsidian Moon Pack, hundreds of them, choke on their own rage. The silence that slams back into the clearing is deafening, terrifying. His power is that absolute.
The night is starless. The new moon offers no light, just a gaping black hole in the sky. It is fitting. This is not a celebration. This is a sentence. 2 nights, 48 hours. Sorina has spent every second of it in a state of cold, suspended terror. She has been moved. She is no longer in her grandfather's cottage. She is in his house, the Alpha's fortress, a place of cold stone, high ceilings, and an oppressive, suffocating silence. She's in a room that feels less like a guest room and more like a beautifully appointed cell. He has not spoken to her. He has not even looked at her since he was forced to stand in that cottage and listen to the elder's decree. His beta, a grim-faced, silent warrior named Jorvik, brought her clothes. They were not the soft white silks of a Luna in waiting. There was no lace, no embroidery. It was a simple, sleeveless tunic, the color of ash. And now she is being marched. Her grandfather's hand is a vice on her upper arm. His grip is not supportive. It is propelling. He is forcing her forward through the dark, cold woods. This is not the festive clearing of the harvest moon. This is the sacred circle, an ancient, somber place, ringed by massive, moss-covered standing stones that predate the pack's memory. The air is cold. No one is laughing. No one is speaking. The entire Obsidian Moon Pack is here, hundreds of them, and they are silent. But she can feel their hatred. It's a physical pressure, a suffocating blanket of resentment that chokes the air. She can smell it.
Underneath the sharp scent of pine and the ritual incense burning in stone bowls, she can smell the sour, acrid tang of their fury. She stumbles, her thin shoe catching on a root. Her grandfather yanks her upright, his fingers digging in, bruising her. "Hold your head up, child," he hisses, his voice shaking, not with fear, but with his own shame. "You will not disgrace us further." This is it, the end of her life. It's not a new beginning, it's a public execution. She is a wolfless, half-blood nothing, and she is walking toward the man she has trapped, the man who is about to trap her in return. They step into the circle, and she sees him. He is already there, standing on a raised, flat slab of granite in the center of the ring. He is not in ceremonial robes. He is dressed in simple black trousers and a dark, loose-fitting shirt. He looks less like an alpha accepting his mate and more like an executioner waiting for the condemned. His body is perfectly, terrifyingly still. His face is a void, carved from the same ice that fills his eyes. His gaze finds hers as her grandfather shoves her toward the stone platform. The coldness from that night in the woods, it is 1,000 times worse. It is not the heat of anger. It is the absolute zero of nothing, of pure, unadulterated loathing. This is not her mate. This is her jailer. She stops at the base of the platform, her legs trembling so hard she's afraid they'll give out. Elder Frederick steps forward, his voice booming, hollow and cold in the night air. "We gather under the eye of the new moon. The goddess has spoken. A mate has been found. A Luna has been chosen." A low, angry murmur ripples through the crowd. It's a dangerous sound, a growl vibrating from hundreds of chests. And then a single voice, sharp with venom, cuts through the night. "She is not our Luna!" It's a woman. She sees her, one of the pack warriors who had sneered at her at the festival. Her face is twisted in outrage. "She is a half-blood, a disgrace! Wolfless!" another voice shouts. "She'll make us weak! She is nothing!" The words hit her. Each one is a physical blow, a stone thrown from the darkness. She flinches, her body curling in on itself, a pathetic, instinctive gesture of defense. She wants to run. She wants to disappear. The shouting grows. It's a low roar now. The pack is feeding on its own anger. Caius doesn't move. He just watches. He stands on his stone, his face an impassive mask, and he lets them. He lets them shout. He lets them hurl their hatred at her. He lets them see her, trembling, exposed, and utterly alone. He lets him see him, trapped by this thing. The roar reaches a fever pitch. A man in the front row actually spits on the ground at her feet. And then Caius raises one hand. The sound cuts off. It doesn't fade. It stops, as if a blade has severed every throat. The entire pack, hundreds of them, choke on their own rage. The silence that slams back into the clearing is deafening, terrifying. His power is that absolute.
His voice cuts through the silence. It is not loud. It is flat, dead. The elder speaks truth. He turns his head, and his black ice gaze finds the woman who shouted first. The goddess has spoken. His eyes move, finding the man who spit. And we will respect her fate. He looks out at all of them, a slow, lethal survey. Or you will answer to me. The threat is unspoken, but it hangs in the air, heavy and lethal. He turns his gaze back to the elder. Then his eyes land on Sorina. "Bring her," he commands. Her grandfather shoves her, hard. "Go." Her legs are wood. She can't feel them. She stumbles up the 2 low stone steps, the granite cold, sharp, and unforgiving beneath her thin shoes. She is standing in front of him. He is so tall. He radiates a cold fury that makes her skin crawl, and his scent,
That ozone and pine, it's all she can smell. It's overwhelming. And the bond, the new, terrifying, traitorous thing inside her, it's screaming. It's a live wire in her veins. It wants this. It craves the finality of the mark. But she is terrified. Elder Frederick steps up beside them, raising his hands. The mark binds the Alpha and his Luna. His strength becomes her shield. Her heart becomes his anchor. Through this mark, he will know her. He will find her wherever she may be. It is the sacred, unbreakable law. Caius turns to her. The crowd, the forest, the cold, the entire world. It all disappears. There is only him. His face is inches from hers. His eyes are black holes. And she can see the war in them, the self-loathing, the suffocating pull of the bond that he is fighting, and the cold, cold duty he is about to perform. He hates this. He hates her for making him do this. His hand comes up. She flinches. But he doesn't touch her face. He doesn't caress her. His fingers, rough and calloused, grip her chin, hard. It's not a touch, it's a seizure. He tilts her head, forcing her to expose the pale, vulnerable skin of her neck, forcing her submission. She is trembling, a violent, uncontrollable shaking. A single tear of pure terror and humiliation escapes, sliding from the corner of her eye, tracing a hot path down her temple. His gaze follows the track of the tear, and for a microsecond, that granite face flickers, a flash of something. Pain, regret, a shared agony. It's gone as fast as it appears. His voice is for her alone, a low, guttural whisper that no one else can hear, a sound that vibrates from his chest straight into her bones. Are you ready? She can't speak. She just shakes her head, a tiny, pathetic movement. I'm going to be gentle, he whispers, and the words are a clear, agonizing lie. There is no gentle left in him. But try not to scream. His gaze hardens. Do not show them weakness. It's not a comfort, it's a command. This is it. The end. He lowers his head. She can feel his breath, hot against her skin, a shocking, intimate contrast to the cold night. She smells his scent, a deep, intoxicating rush, and it makes her dizzy. She closes her eyes. And then, pain. It is not a bite. It is fire. It is lightning. His fangs, long and razor sharp, sink into her flesh. It's a violation, a sharp, searing, electric agony that shoots from her neck, down her spine, and explodes in her very core. It is blinding. She does scream, but the sound is trapped in her throat, a choked, high-pitched gasp. Her hands fly up, her nails digging into the hard muscle of his shoulders, trying to push him away, trying to anchor herself to something as the world dissolves into pure white agony. But he holds her. His grip on her chin is iron. His other arm snakes around her waist like a steel band, yanking her forward, slamming her body flush against him. He holds her still as his fangs sink deeper. And then the pain changes. The fire doesn't stop, but something else floods in. Him. His power. His essence. A tidal wave of pure, unfiltered alpha. It floods the bond, filling all my empty, broken, wolfless spaces. It's too much. It's overwhelming. He feels strength. He feels his rage. And under it all, he feels his deep, ancient, bottomless sorrow. It's all pouring into her. And her own terror, her own pain, her own lifetime of loneliness is pouring back into him.
It is a forced, brutal intimacy that is more total, more naked than any physical act. He is claiming her, soul deep. He groans, a low, agonized sound muffled against her skin. He's feeling it too. He's feeling her. The world spins. She feels different. The cold air on her skin feels sharper. She can hear the individual, terrified heartbeats of the pack members in the circle. She can smell their sour resentment, but underneath it, she can smell their fear. They are afraid of him. And now, she is part of him. He rips his head back. The sound of his fangs retracting is a wet, sickening schlick. He is breathing hard, his chest heaving, his lips are stained with her blood. Her legs give out. The world tilts. All strength is gone. She sags, her entire body shaking, a puppet with its strings cut. He catches her. His arm is an iron bar around her waist. He holds her up, forcing her to stand, pinning her side against his body. He doesn't look at her. He doesn't check the wound. He turns, holding her, to face the pack. She is dizzy, bleeding, her neck on fire, but she can feel his heart hammering against her ribs. He raises his free hand. He looks out at his pack, at the sea of pale, silent, hateful faces, and he speaks. His voice is not his own. It is the Alpha's voice, the voice that commands reality, the voice that ends things. Behold, he roars. The sound slams into the trees, into their chests, a physical wave of power. Your Luna! There is no cheer. There is only a vast, cold, terrifying silence. Sorina just stands there, held up by the man who hates her, her blood dripping hot down her neck and onto the cold gray tunic. Her body is on fire. Her soul is permanently, agonizingly marked. She is the Luna of the Obsidian Moon, a queen hated by her people, a mate despised by her Alpha. She looks out at the sea of cold, hateful faces, and she knows this isn't the end of her life. It's the beginning of her war. He holds her there, pinned to his side, her feet barely touching the granite slab. He forces her to face them, to face the sea of pale, hateful, silent faces. The silence is 1,000 times worse than their screams. Their shouts had been hot. This is a cold, unified, absolute rejection. It's in their eyes, the women, their arms crossed, their expressions twisted with a disgust so profound it's a physical force. The warriors, their hands clenched, their shoulders rigid, their submission to their Alpha warring with their utter contempt for her. They are not looking at a Luna. They are looking at a parasite, a liability, a disease their Alpha has been forced to take. The mark on her neck is a beacon of fire, a burning, open wound that pulses with a pain so deep it's in her bones. But it's not just pain. It's him. It's a flood of information. Her senses, which had been dull, human, are screaming. She can smell their hatred. It's not a metaphor. It's a scent. Sour, like spoiled milk, with a sharp coppery tang of adrenaline. She can hear their heartbeats, not as a crowd but as individuals. Thump, 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 fast with anger. Thump, 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 slow with cold loathing. She can feel the fear underneath it all, their terror that this wolfless half-blood disgrace will be the undoing of their pack, their weakness. Caius's arm is an iron bar around her waist. His body is a furnace against her side. But the heat is a lie. It's the heat of a banked fire, of a volcano under ice. He is rigid, his power pouring off of him in waves, holding the entire pack in a state of terror-induced paralysis. He is forcing their obedience. He is not asking for their acceptance. He turns, and because she is locked to him, she turns. He doesn't let her go. He doesn't help her. He moves, and she is forced to move with him, to stumble, to find her footing, or be dragged. He steps off the platform. She winces as her feet hit the cold, hard-packed earth. Her ankle, healed from the woods but still weak, aches in protest. The wound on her neck screams, but he doesn't slow. And they begin to walk. This is the true battle, the true confrontation. It is the long, silent walk from the sacred circle back to the Alpha's house. And he is forcing her to do it with him. He is making them watch. He doesn't forge a path. He walks through them. The pack, who had been crowded close, parts. They recoil. They surge backward like the tide pulling away from a piece of driftwood. No one, not even her cousin Silas, whom she spots in the crowd, his face ashen with terror, no one will meet her eyes.
They look at the ground as she passes. They look at the trees. They look at their Alpha, their eyes filled with a pained, subservient confusion. But her? To them, she is not there. She is a void, a shame. And Caius, he is magnificent in his fury. His chin is high. His gaze is fixed forward. He is an unstoppable force, a predator moving through his own territory, and he is dragging her, his mark, his claim, his shame, with him. He is daring them to say one word, to even breathe wrong. They are holding their breath. The only sound is the crunch of their feet on the pine needles and the distant, cold sigh of the wind. Sorina wants to shrink. She wants to die. The humiliation is a physical poison seeping into the burning wound on her neck. She is being paraded. She is not a Luna. She is a spoil of war, a captive, a symbol of his broken duty. But as they walk, as the seconds stretch into agonizing minutes, as the silent, hateful eyes of her pack slide past her, that spark, that single defiant ember she'd felt when he'd called her an assignment, it begins to glow. He is forcing her to endure this. He is using her as a shield or a weapon to beat his pack into submission. He is punishing them for their defiance, and her for existing. He is holding her up for them all to hate. And a new feeling, cold and sharp as his own ice, cuts through her terror. Rage. She is not his weapon. She is not his shame. She is not nothing. She stops trying to keep up. She stops stumbling. She plants her foot. She pulls her own weight. She lifts her chin. She can feel the microsecond of surprise that shudders through him. His iron grip on her waist, which had been holding her up, propelling her, it falters as he feels her suddenly supporting herself. His head turns, just lightly. He glances down at her. And Sorina, her body trembling, her neck on fire, her heart a trapped bird, meets his gaze. She does not look at the pack. She looks at him. She locks her eyes on his, and she pours every ounce of her pain, her defiance, her betrayal, her newfound burning fury into that one look. You did this. You are doing this. And I will not break. His eyes, those black, icy chips, they widen, just fractionally. He sees it. He sees her. He sees the girl he's trying to crush, and he sees that she is not crushing. He sees the fire. A new dangerous energy sparks between them. The bond, which had been a one-way torrent of pain and power, suddenly ignites. It becomes a two-way conduit. He feels her rage. He feels her defiance. And his grip on her waist tightens. It becomes painful. It's not a threat. It's an answer. Try me. He breaks the gaze. He faces forward again, and he walks. Faster. Almost dragging her now, but she doesn't stumble. She matches him. Her legs are screaming. Her lungs are burning, but she matches his every brutal, angry stride. It is a silent declaration of war. I am here, and I will not be your victim. The walk is an eternity. They burst from the trees, the cold stone fortress of his house looming against the starless sky. The pack stops at the tree line, a silent mass of shadows. They will not follow. This is as far as their defiance dares to go. Caius doesn't pause. He hauls her up the stone steps, across the threshold, and into the vast, cavernous, freezing cold entry hall. The massive oak door slams shut behind them. The boom echoes in the vast space, loud as a cannon shot. And then, silence. The suffocating, hateful silence of the pack is gone, replaced by a new, colder, more personal silence. The silence of a tomb. He lets her go. He doesn't release her. He shoves her. He thrusts her away from him, as if her skin is burning him. Sorina stumbles, her legs finally giving out. She collides with a heavy, carved wooden table, her hands flat on the cold, polished wood just to stay upright. She's gasping. Her entire body is a symphony of pain. The burning in her neck, the ache in her legs, the bruises his fingers have left on her arm, on her waist. He hasn't moved. He stands by the door, his back to her. His head is down, his hands clenched at his sides. He is breathing hard. Ragged, angry breaths that are the only sound in the hall. He is fighting the bond, fighting the rage, fighting himself. Go, he growls. The word is thick, choked.
Sorina pushes herself off the table. She is shaking, but her voice is surprisingly steady, cold. Go where? He turns, slowly, and the thing she saw in his eyes in the forest, that wild, terrified self-loathing he'd shown after the kiss, it's back. But it's 1,000 times more potent. It's the look of a man who has just ingested a poison, and is the poison. Go to your room, he snarls. This is my prison, she whispers, but there's steel in the words. Yes, he bites out. He takes a step toward her, and she flinches, but she doesn't back down. That is exactly what this is, for both of us. You let them, she accuses, her voice shaking with the fresh, hot rage of the memory. You let them humiliate me. You wanted them to. You wanted them to break me. I wanted them to see, he corrects, his voice dropping to a low, lethal whisper. He stalks toward her, and she is forced to crane her head back to look up at him. He is a tower of cold fury. I wanted them to see exactly what this is, what you are. I am your mate, she screams, the word torn from her, a plea and a curse. You are my liability. He roars, the sound exploding from him, his alpha voice slamming into her, making her knees buckle. You are the living, breathing proof that the goddess is a fickle, cruel bitch. You are Marana. You are a wolfless, powerless human weakness that I have been forced to chain myself to. He's close. So close. She can smell the fury on his breath. She can feel the heat rolling off his skin. The mark on her neck is burning, crying out for him, wanting to close this distance even as her mind screams in terror. I am not her, she chokes out, tears of rage and pain finally welling. I am not Marana. My name is Sorina. I don't care what your name is, he snarls, his hand slamming into the wall next to her head, the wood cracking. You are a mistake I am now forced to live with. This is the impossible choice. This is the battle, not the pack. Him. How does she live like this? How does she survive being chained to a man who looks at her like she is the ghost of his most profound trauma? She has no answer. She has nothing. She just has this new, cold, burning rage. She looks him dead in the eye, the tears spilling, hot and angry, down her cheeks. And you are a coward. You're so terrified of a ghost, you're willing to create one. His breath hitches. His eyes, for 1 second, the rage is gone, replaced by a raw, naked shock. She hit him. She found the crack in his armor. And it's in that second, that cold, silent, agonizing second, that the new reality, her new life, settles. She is the Luna, hated by her people, and she is mated to an alpha who is even more terrified of her than he is of his enemies.
The silence stretches. 1 second. 2. It's too long. It's too real. And the wound, it doesn't bleed, it freezes. The raw, naked shock that had stolen his breath, it glazes over. The ice doesn't just return, it reforms, thicker, colder, more absolute. He hates her. He hates her not for her weakness, but for this, for seeing his, for naming it. He slowly, deliberately pulls his hand from the cracked wall. He straightens to his full, terrifying height, a tower of controlled, frigid fury. The mask of the Alpha, the one she had shattered, slides back into place. But it's different now. It's not just cold, it's dead. His voice, when it comes, is not a roar, it is the sibilant, freezing whisper of an avalanche before it falls. Go to your room. Sorina is still shaking, the hot, angry tears still wet on her face. But the fire that fueled her words is still there, a banked, defiant ember. She doesn't move. She just stands there, her hands fisted at her sides, her chin high. She will not be dismissed. Not after that. Not after what he did. Did you not hear me? He hisses, and he moves. He doesn't wait, he doesn't command again. He crosses the space between them in one lethal stride. He grabs her arm, not the one he'd bruised before, the other one. His grip is iron. It's not a pull, it's a seizure. No, she cries, yanking back. His grip tightens, his fingers digging in, a brutal, possessive, impersonal force. He hauls her. He begins to walk, dragging her from the hall. This is not the walk through the pack. This is not public. This is personal. This is punishment. He drags her toward the massive, curving stone staircase. "Let go of me!" she shouts, her voice echoing in the empty, cavernous house. She plants her feet. It's useless. He is an unstoppable force. He is a block of ice moving with a purpose. He is dragging her, his prisoner, to her cell. She stumbles on the first step, her weak ankle twisting. A cry of pain is ripped from her. He doesn't stop. He doesn't slow. He just pulls harder, forcing her to find her footing or be dragged up the cold stone. This is the man who kissed her. This is the man who had flickered with shared pain at the ceremony. And this is the real man. The one who has made his choice. He gets to the top of the landing. He stalks down the long, dark, empty corridor. The only light comes from the moonless black windows. The only sound is her, gasping, stumbling, and the hard, relentless, furious thud of his boots on the stone floor. He reaches a door. One of a dozen. He doesn't open it, he kicks it. The door flies open, slamming against the interior wall with a crack. He shoves her. He throws her into the room. She stumbles, her feet tangling, and she falls hard onto the thick, cold rug. She lands on her hands and knees. A pathetic, broken assignment. The door clicks shut behind her. She hears the sound of a key. A key. In a lock. He locked her in.
She scrambles, pushing herself up, scrambling to the door. She pounds on the heavy oak. You bastard! You can't lock me in! Let me out! She hears nothing. Only the sound of his footsteps, heavy and final. Walking away, fading. She is alone. She leans her forehead against the cold, solid wood, her breath coming in ragged, painful sobs, but the tears won't come. The rage is too hot, the humiliation too profound. She turns, her back sliding down the door, and she surveys her cell. It's vast. The room is huge, bigger than her grandfather's entire cottage. A massive 4-poster bed, a fireplace of cold black marble, furniture draped in dust cloths. It's a room that hasn't been used in decades. And it's cold. So cold. She pushes herself to her feet. She is shaking. Not from fear. Not anymore. She is shaking with a rage so deep, so cold, it feels like it's the only thing holding her together. She is pacing. A small, furious circle in the center of the vast, empty room. Her hands are fisted, her nails digging into her palms. She can feel the mark on her neck. It's not just a burn, it's a throb, a sick, pulsing ache. It's a tether, and it is screaming.
The bond. It hates this. It hates the distance. It hates the locked door. It wants him. It's a traitor in her own skin, a desperate, longing thing that is clawing at her from the inside out, demanding she go to him, demanding comfort, demanding mate. And he is on the other side of that door, in this same cold, empty house, feeling the exact same thing. She can feel him. It's a new, sick, terrifying sense. She can feel his rage, but underneath it, she can feel the pull. She can feel him fighting it. He is pacing, just as she is. He is a caged animal, and she is the source of his agony, and he, hers. This is not a bond. This is a shared torture. The pacing stops. She hears it. The sound of his footsteps returning, heavy, deliberate. She freezes. She backs away from the door, her heart hammering, her new, cold rage warring with the sudden, instinctive hope of the bond. He's back. He's coming back. The key scrapes in the lock. The sound is deafening. The door swings open. He is standing there. He's not in the hallway. He's in the doorway, filling it. He is a silhouette of pure, contained menace against the darkness of the hall. He steps inside. He closes the door, softly, behind him. The click is final. He is in the room, with her. "What?" she whispers, her voice a dry rasp. "What do you want?" He doesn't move. He just looks at her. He's not looking at her with rage, not with ice. He's studying her. His gaze is intense, analytical, and utterly, terrifyingly cold. He's looking at her like she's a problem, a complex, dangerous equation he is being forced to solve. "This arrangement," he says. His voice is flat. Not a roar, not a whisper. A dead, level, controlled tone. The voice of a man who has mastered his rage and replaced it with something far more dangerous. "We need terms." He walks past her. He goes to the window, brushing a dust cloth from a chair. He doesn't sit. He just stands there, looking out at the blackness, his back to her. "You will live in this house," he states. "It is not a discussion. You will have this room. You will be provided for." He turns, and his face is a perfect, flawless mask of cold control. "When we are in public, you will be the Luna. You will stand by my side.
You will smile. You will be silent. You will be the symbol that this pact requires. A symbol. The word is a slap, a symbol of his duty, a symbol of his failure. But in here, he continues, his voice dropping, in this house, in private. He takes a step toward her. The air in the room drops 10 degrees. We are nothing. Sorina just stares at him. She can't breathe. The mark on her neck is screaming. It's a lie. It's a lie. He's lying. You may be my mate. And the word mate is a poison on his tongue. He spits it out. In name only. He needs her to understand this. He is saying it as much for himself as for her. He is building his wall, brick by brick, right in front of her. In name only. He sees the flicker in her eyes, the something, the memory of the kiss, the memory of the dance. I will never, he says, his voice lethal, share your bed. I will never touch you again. Not like that. He gestures, a vague, angry flick of his hand. That night, at Kalen's, that was a lapse, a moment of weakness, a mistake. One, his eyes lock on hers. I will not repeat. He's close now. So close, she can smell the cold air on his skin. So close, she can see the utter, devastating conviction in his eyes. He means it. My father, he says, his voice a low, raw thing, was destroyed. He was destroyed by a moment of weakness, by trusting something wolfless, something he shouldn't have. I will not be my father. He is standing right in front of her. He is the alpha. He is the judge, and he is the executioner. He raises one hand and he points a single accusatory finger at her heart. You are merely an assignment. The word hits her, harder than the shove, harder than the locked door. Assignment. You are a duty, he presses on, his voice merciless. A burden, decreed by the goddess, enforced by the elders. You are a role I am forced to play. You are not my Luna. You are not my mate. You are nothing more. He holds her gaze, waiting, demanding. Is that understood? The silence stretches. She should be crying. She should be begging. She should be broken. The girl who ran from the festival, she would be. She would be a puddle on the floor. But she isn't. She looks at him, at this beautiful, powerful, broken man, this man who is so terrified he is willing to build a prison for both of them and call it a solution. And the fire, the rage, it doesn't just flicker, it ignites. But it's not a hot fire. It's a cold fire. An ice-blue, defiant flame. Her shaking stops. The tears on her face feel cold. She slowly, deliberately, raises her head. Her voice when she speaks is not a sob. It's not a scream. It's a whisper. As cold, as sharp, and as dead as his own. An assignment. She repeats the word, a brittle, hollow sound. So, all this drama, she gestures, a weak, mocking wave at him at her neck. All this acting, just to... What? Prove you're strong? Get your emotions in check, he snarls, the first crack in his new perfect mask. My emotions? She lets out a short, sharp laugh. It's a horrible, ugly sound. My emotions are fine. It's yours that are the problem. You are a coward. What did you call me? He roars, his mask shattering, his rage exploding. A coward! She screams back, her voice cracking, the cold fire now a blazing inferno. You're terrified. You're so terrified of a ghost. You can't even see the living, breathing woman in front of you. You're so haunted by a dead woman, you're trying to turn me into one. He lunges, his hands shoot out, grabbing her by the shoulders. His grip is bruising. He shakes her, once, hard. You will be silent. No, she cries, hitting his chest, her blows useless against the hard wall of his muscle. You don't get to mark me, to chain me to you, and then call me an assignment. You don't get to ruin my life, and then act like you're the victim. He shoves her back, hard against the cold stone wall. Her head hits it with a thud. She gasps, the air knocked from her. He traps her there, his hands slamming onto the wall on either side of her head. He is caged. He is losing control. His eyes, they're red. The red is back, burning. His fangs are descending. You, he snarls, his voice a guttural, animalistic sound. You will obey me. He is breathing her in. His rage is warring with the bond. The pull. He's so close. His face is inches from hers. He's trembling. He's fighting himself. And Sorina, she's terrified. Her heart is a trapped bird. But the ice, her own ice, it holds.
She stops fighting. She stops struggling. She just looks at him. Into those burning red, tormented eyes. And she smiles. A cold, broken, terrifying smile. You call me a weak little bunny? She rasps, her voice a shredded thing, her throat aching. She's throwing his own words back at him. From the woods, a lifetime ago. His eyes widen. But you, she whispers, her gaze dropping to his fangs and then back to his eyes. You're just a disgusting, feral dog, chained to a gravestone, barking at shadows. The red, it vanishes, as if she'd thrown ice water on him. He recoils. He physically flinches back, as if she had burned him. He stumbles back, his hand coming up to his own chest, as if she had stabbed him. He looks at her, not with rage, not with ice, but with a new, dark nothing. She straightens up, pushing herself off the wall. She rubs her throat. She looks at this powerful, broken, monstrous alpha, and she feels nothing. The longing of the bond is still there, a sick, dull ache, but she is empty. You want an assignment? She says, her voice dead. Fine. You want a cold, loveless arrangement? You got it. She walks past him. She walks to the center of the room, and she turns. She is the Luna. She is the prisoner, and she is the one giving the terms now. I will be your Luna. I will wear your mark. I will smile for your pack. I will be perfect in my role. She takes a sharp, steadying breath. But you will get nothing from me. Not my fear, not my tears, and certainly not my love. She looks him dead in the eye. I will never love you. He just stares at her. He has no words. He has nothing. She has taken his prison, and she has locked him out. He turns. He yanks the door open, and he's gone. The slam of the door echoes in the cold, vast, silent room.
Sorina stands there, alone, for a long, long time. And then her legs, they just give out. She collapses onto the cold floor. She wraps herself around herself and she shakes. She doesn't cry, she just shakes. In the cold, in the dark. A new queen in her new castle. The Cold War has begun.
She stops fighting. She stops struggling. She just looks at him. Into those burning red, tormented eyes. And she smiles. A cold, broken, terrifying smile. You call me a weak little bunny? She rasps, her voice a shredded thing, her throat aching. She's throwing his own words back at him, from the woods, a lifetime ago. His eyes widen. But you, she whispers, her gaze dropping to his fangs and then back to his eyes. You're just a disgusting, feral dog, chained to a gravestone, barking at shadows. The red, it vanishes, as if she'd thrown ice water on him. He recoils. He physically flinches back, as if she had burned him. He stumbles back, his hand coming up to his own chest, as if she had stabbed him. He looks at her, not with rage, not with ice, but with a new dark nothing. She straightens up, pushing herself off the wall. She rubs her throat. She looks at this powerful, broken, monstrous alpha, and she feels nothing. The longing of the bond is still there, a sick, dull ache, but she is empty. You want an assignment? She says, her voice dead. Fine. You want a cold, loveless arrangement? You got it. She walks past him. She walks to the center of the room, and she turns. She is the Luna. She is the prisoner, and she is the one giving the terms now. I will be your Luna. I will wear your mark. I will smile for your pack. I will be perfect in my role. She takes a sharp, steadying breath. But you will get nothing from me. Not my fear, not my tears, and certainly not my love. She looks him dead in the eye. I will never love you. He just stares at her. He has no words. He has nothing. She has taken his prison, and she has locked him out. He turns. He yanks the door open, and he's gone. The slam of the door echoes in the cold, vast, silent room. Sorina stands there, alone, for a long, long time. And then her legs, they just give out. She collapses onto the cold floor. She wraps herself around herself and she shakes. She doesn't cry, she just shakes. In the cold, in the dark. A new queen in her new castle. The Cold War has begun. A week passes. A week. And the only sound in the Alpha's fortress is the distant, solitary click of a door, the echo of a single footstep on a stone floor, the scrape of silverware on porcelain, separated by 30 feet of polished, empty wood. This is their new beginning. This is the Cold War. They are two ghosts trapped in the same house. They are bound by a mark, by a bond, that has become a physical, daily torture. For Sorina,
It's a constant, low-grade, agonizing throb. The mark on her neck is a live wire, and it pulls. It's a traitor in her own skin. It wants to be near him. It craves his presence, his power, the very thing her mind now despises. It's a sick physical hunger, and she can feel him. Through that same cursed tether, she can feel his restlessness, his agony. He's on the other side of the vast, cold house. He's in his office. He's in his own separate wing. He is pacing, a caged, furious animal. He's fighting it, just as she is. He is drowning in the need that the bond creates, and he is suffocating in his hatred for it, for her. They see each other once a day. Dinner. It's a silent, brutal ritual. She sits at one end of the cavernous dining table. He sits at the other. The distance is a physical, yawning chasm between them. He doesn't look at her. He stares at his plate, his jaw a rigid line of control, his knuckles white on his fork. But she can feel his awareness. Every nerve in his body is screaming, pointed at her, just as hers are screaming, pointed at him. It's a new kind of madness. She is the Luna. She is also a prisoner. She has not been allowed to leave the house. The pack's hatred is a silent, suffocating wall just beyond the gates. Her grandfather has not visited. Her cousin Silas, she learns, has been forbidden from seeing her. She is utterly, completely, and totally isolated, trapped with him. The silence, the pull, the nothing, it's winding her so tight she feels like she is going to snap. She has to get out. She has to breathe air that is not contaminated with his scent, his rage, his presence. She finds him in his office. She doesn't knock, she just walks in. He's standing at the window, staring out at the woods. He doesn't turn, but his entire body goes rigid. He knew she was there, 50 feet down the hall. "I'm going outside," she says. Her voice is a dry, rusty thing. She hasn't spoken in 3 days. He turns, slowly, and his eyes are hell. They are dark-rimmed, exhausted, his control stretched so thin it's transparent, and they are filled with that deep, cold ice. No. The word is flat. Final. "I am not your prisoner," she says, her hands fisted at her sides. He lets out a short, cold, bitter laugh. "That is exactly what you are." "You can't keep me locked in this house," she presses, that cold, defiant fire she'd found in her room flickering back to life. "The elders, your pack, they'll notice your Luna has disappeared. They'll start to ask questions." She sees it, the flicker in his eyes. She's right. She's found his one weakness, his duty, his image of absolute control. He hates that she's right. He turns from the window, his jaw tight. "Fine. Jorvik will accompany you." Jorvik. His beta. His grim-faced, silent shadow. "I don't want an escort," she snaps. I need to walk. Alone." "You will not be alone," he bites out, his voice a low, lethal snarl. "You are a liability. You will be guarded. That is final." So this is her new freedom. A prisoner. On a leash. She walks. In the vast, formal, high-walled gardens behind the fortress. It's the only place she's allowed.
And Jorvik is always there, 10 paces behind. His face is stone, his silence as heavy as the Alpha's. He is her jailer. It's almost worse than the house. But today the pull of the bond is unbearable. It's a physical, agonizing pull in her gut. He's nearby. He's in his office, just inside, and the proximity is making her skin crawl, her hands shake. She feels like she is suffocating. She needs 1 second, just 1 second where she is not being watched, where she is not his. She walks to the very back of the garden, a high stone wall, an ancient, crumbling archway, choked with ivy, leads out into the deep, dark woods. The woods, the place where this all began. She turns. She faces her jailer. "Jorvik," she says. Her voice is shaking. She hates that it's shaking. He stops. He just looks at her. His face is impassive. "Please," she whispers, and the word breaks her. Can I just have 5 minutes? Right here, by the gate? I won't go anywhere. I swear. I can't breathe with you standing there. Please." Jorvik's stony expression flickers. He is a wolf. He can smell her distress. He can feel her desperation. He's torn. His Alpha's absolute, final command, and the broken, pleading woman in front of him. His Luna. He hesitates. "Luna," she begs, a tear tracing a hot path down her cold cheek. 5 minutes. I need to breathe. I'll stay right here. I swear it. He looks at the sky. He looks at the gate. He looks at her. And finally, with a deep, reluctant, frustrated sigh, he gives one sharp, agonizing nod.
The scent of pine, of damp earth, it's gone. Wiped away, replaced by nothing. A dry, sterile, dusty smell, like an ancient, opened tomb. Sorina's eyes fly open. "Who's there?" she whispers. The garden is empty. The path back to the hedge is clear. "Jorvik?" she calls out, her voice suddenly small, terrified. No answer. A voice whispers directly into her right ear. It is not Jorvik. It is not Caius. It is a dry, sibilant, inhuman rustle of a sound. The little Luna. So very alone. Sorina screams. She spins around, her back slamming into the stone arch. There is no one there. "Who are you?" she shrieks, pure liquid terror flooding her veins. "Show yourself!" A cackle, a dry, rattling sound. It comes from her other side now, from her left. Show? Oh no, little wolf. We don't need to be seen to be felt. And a hand, a hard, cold, invisible hand, grabs a fistful of her hair. It yanks her head back, slamming it against the stone, exposing her throat. She screams, a high, thin, terrified sound. She claws at her own hair, her fingers finding nothing, just her own head, her own skin as she is held, immovably, by a force she cannot see. "Get off of me! Let go! Jorvik!" Something cold and sharp presses against her throat. A knife.
She can feel the ice-cold, razor-thin line of the blade against her pulse. She can see nothing, just the empty garden air. Scream again, little Luna. The voice hisses. It's in her ear again. The breath? It's freezing cold, smelling of that same ancient dust. Scream again, and we will silence you. For good. She freezes. She goes utterly, totally still. Her breath is trapped. A burning, painful knot in her chest. Tears of pure, abject terror are streaming down her face. What do you want? She forces out, the words a choked, strangled gasp, the blade pressing harder. Want? The invisible assailant laughs, and it's not one voice anymore. It's two. It's three. A chorus of dry, whispering, cackling voices. They're all around her. She can feel them. She can feel arms, invisible and cold as iron, pinning her own arms to the wall. She is held. She is trapped. And there is nothing. We want what he holds most dear. The first voice purrs, its mouth, or whatever it is, right by her ear. He hates me. She sobs, the terror a new, wretched, pathetic plea. I'm nothing to him. You have the wrong person. Oh, but you are, little Luna, the voice whispers, and she can feel the smile in the sound. It's a horrible, cold, cruel thing. You're not nothing. You're so much more. A cloth, a damp, strange-smelling cloth, is pressed hard over her mouth and nose. It doesn't smell like chemicals. It smells like ozone and dust. She tries to scream. She tries to fight. Her body, her human, wolfless, useless body, it doesn't obey. Her strength, it just vanishes. It's not a fading. It's a snuffing, like a candle. The magic, it's draining her. Her legs buckle. Her arms, the invisible hands holding them, they let go, because she has nothing left. You are leverage. That is the last thing she hears. The last thing she feels is the absence of the ground, the sickening, dizzying lurch as she is lifted.
She doesn't scream with her voice. She screams inside. She screams down the one, single, agonizing connection she has. She screams into the bond. She screams his name. Caius is in his office. He is not working. He is breaking. The map on his desk is blurry. He hasn't seen it for an hour. He is drowning. He is drowning in her restless, caged pain, her loneliness. It's a poison. It's an agony. It's a fever in his blood, and he hates her for it. He hates her for making him feel this weakness. He vowed. And then, pain. It is not a thought. It is not a sound. It is a scream of pure, primal, soul-shattering terror that explodes inside his skull. It is her. Caius! He roars. It is not a human sound. It is a sound of pure, unadulterated alpha rage. The massive, ancient oak desk in front of him cracks. It splinters as he vaults over it. He doesn't use the door. He is a blur of motion. He smashes, in an explosion of glass and splintered wood and torn curtains, through the fucking window. He lands on the grass outside, his clothes, his human skin, already shredding, his bones, breaking, reforming with sickening, wet crunches. He is a monster. He is a black, seething, massive wolf before his paws even hit the ground a second time. Sorina. 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 The name is a silent, roaring panic in his mind. He doesn't know where she is. He just runs. He follows the scream. He follows the bond. It is a beacon of pure, white-hot terror. He bursts through the hedge, a black missile, skidding to a halt on the grass. He sees Jorvik on the ground, groaning. He shifts back, a violent, brutal, agonizing compression of bone and rage. "Where?" he roars, his voice a guttural, inhuman thing as he hauls his beta, his best warrior, to his feet. I don't know, Alpha," Jorvik groans, his head bleeding. I heard her. I turned and nothing. Something hit me. I didn't see." Caius throws him aside. The arch. He runs. He slams to a halt at the stone gate. And he smells it. Her terror. It's a physical, suffocating stink in the air. It's everywhere. And something else. That smell. That nothing smell. That vacuum. Dust. Ozone. Magic. The word, it stops his heart. Warlocks. No. The word, it's a plea. A whisper. No. 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 He closes his eyes. He reaches. He reaches for the one thing he has hated, the thing he has fought. He reaches for the mark, for the tether. It is his right. It is law. He will find her. He reaches. He pulls. And he finds nothing. His eyes fly open. He gasps. It's gone. The scream, the pull, her. It's not severed. It's not dead. That would be a clean agony. This is worse. The line, the bond, it's blind. It's muffled. It's shrouded. It's like trying to scream through a wall of static. He casts out, his alpha senses screaming, desperate. He drops to one knee. He smells the earth, her scent, her terror. It's here. It's so strong, but it stops. It stops cold, right at the gate, as if she evaporated, as if she ceased to exist. Panic. Pure, cold, primal panic, deeper, blacker, more terrifying than anything he felt when he watched his father die. It grips his heart, and it squeezes. He can't find her. He has lost her. He throws his head back, and the sound that rips from his throat, it is not the roar of an alpha. It is not the roar of a man. It is the sound of a soul breaking, a sound of such profound, animalistic loss. It shakes the very stones of his fortress. He's on his knees. His hands, his human hands, are clawing at the dirt where her scent just ends. I can't smell her. If you're ready for more tales where fated mates are the biggest enemies, join the Wolfveil Tales Park, because here we believe destiny is just the beginning of the fight.